Hey guys, in today's lecture we'll be discussing the three major components of transformational generative grammar. So in the first lecture we discussed the base component or the PS component. In this lecture we'll be discussing the transformational component. Now this part contains rules known as T rules or transformational rules. Now in the transformational component, we have rules which are known as T rules. In the base component, we had rules known as phrase structure rules, and in the transformational components, we have rules known as T rules. Now there are two types of T rules, optional T rules that may apply and obligatory T rules that you must apply. When you use the word obligation, then that is something that you must do, right? So we have optional T rules that may apply to a string and obligatory T rules that you must apply to a string. Now you have two types of transformations in transformational generative grammar, especially when you are dealing with transformations as such. There are two types of transformations that can occur in a sentence. One is singularly or single based transformation, which operates upon just one terminal string. And you have generalized double base transformation, which combine two or more terminal string. So in singularly or single base transformation, as the word itself indicates, there is only one output that is there. There is only one base there, right? There is only one terminal string, and the T rules operate on one terminal string. Most of the transformations that you may study in this lecture belongs to singularly transformation, like the passivation, the passive transformation, then the affix switch, then the interrogative transformation. All these belong to singularly transformation, where it acts upon or it operates upon just one terminal string. For example, just take the sentence, he is wise, and just transform it into a question. So if you want to transform it into a question, he is wise, he is wise, you have the noun here, then you have the auxiliary, and then you have the again another noun here, right? He is wise. So what you do is that you bring the auxiliary first, then you bring the pronoun, and then you bring the noun. Is he wise? So here it operates just on just one string, right? It operates just on one string. Similarly, in the case of affix switch, in the previous sentence we had one such occurrence, right? We didn't talk about the transformational component there, but we will surely talk about it. Now the sentence was, Tom chased the elephant, right? Here also you had an auxiliary, which was the tense, and then you had the verb. Here you can do an affix switch because you have ed form here, and ed comes here as a tense. So usually here it is in the form of auxiliary plus verb. That's how it is written. When you write its terminal string, it is noun Tom, then you have the auxiliary tense, which is written here, ed is written here, then you have chase, and then you have determiner plus noun. The elephant comes here, right? This is how it is written. But in the case of affix switch, you change the position of the affix, because affix here it comes as a suffix, right? It comes after chase. So we do an affix switch and it becomes verb plus auxiliary here. That is how we do the affix switch. So that again works in this terminal string. So whatever transformation that is happening in a singularly transformation works in one terminal string. That is why it is called singularly transformation. But in the case of generalized double base transformation, in the case of generalized double base transformation, you combine two or more terminal strings. So you have two deep structures here. You combine two or more terminal strings. For example, let's take the sentence, Sam ran away and Sally stood still. So in the sentence, Sam ran away and Sally stood still, Sam ran away is a terminal sentence, Sally stood still is another terminal string. So Sam ran away is one terminal string, Sally stood still is another terminal string, and it is connected together by a coordinating conjunction and. So here two terminal strings are joined together or conjoined by using a coordinating conjunction. So this is a generalized transformation which combine two or more terminal strings. Is that clear? So all generalized transformations are optional, whereas all singularly transformations are either optional or obligatory. Singularly transformations are either optional or obligatory. Optional singularly transformations include passivization, that is when you T passive, that's why what you call it, T passive, T interrogative, etc. These are all optional. Then obligatory T rules that you must apply include affix switch, right? Affix switch is an obligatory T rule because if there is a past tense, then you need to apply the affix switch. So affix switch is an obligatory T rule that you must apply. Affix switch is an obligatory T rule that you must apply. So all in the case of singularly transformations are either optional or obligatory, whereas in the case of generalized transformations are optional. They are not obligatory, they are optional, and they are classified into two types. All the generalized double base transformations are classified into two types. One is that of conjoining and the other is that of embedding. We saw the example of conjoining, right? Here two terminal strings, Sam ran away and Sally stood still, are combined together with the coordinating conjunction and. So here there is a conjoining. Two terminal strings are conjoined together. So there is a conjoining. Hence this is this is an example of a generalized transformation and this is an example of conjoining. Now again, the generalized transformation can also be classified as embedding. In embedding, two sentences are embedded together. Two sentences are embedded together, and in the case of conjoining, it is like this. You are connecting two sentences like this. In the case of embedding, you won't be able to separate them. It is embedded together. So what is the example here that is given? While Sam ran away, Sally stood still. Here you cannot separate while from the entire sentence, right? While Sam ran away, Sally stood still. Here it is an example of embedding. It connects the two sentences together through the invisible thread while. So it is an embedded sentence. While Sam ran away, Sally stood still. This is an example of embedding. So generalized double base transformations which combine two or more terminal strings and which has two or more deep structures are classified as embedding as well as conjoining. I hope that it was clear. Embedding as well as conjoining. So in the first case, here and was a coordinating conjunction, and here while can be used as subordinate, comes as a subordinate. So I hope it create a subordinate clause. So that is how it goes. So I hope that it was clear. In the case of singularly or single base transformation, singularly or single base transformations can either be optional or it can be obligatory. Whereas or the generalized double base transformational are optional. I hope that it was clear. Now in the next session we will be discussing fx switch. Thank you.